Alright, so this is sort of a part two to my unfiltered expression video that I made. Um, I was always afraid of unfiltered expression to one degree or another. I guess because always thought that for me, unfiltered expression would be mean or wild, or typically when I think of carefree expression, I think of like a party animal or something like that, somebody that is wild, because that's the cultural idea of what being carefree means. Um, and in the past, when I used to go to some groups, when I was emotionally in a lot of pain, I would let a lot of harsh energy out in that group, and maybe I thought that that would come out again. I don't really know, but the funny thing is, when I allow myself to express myself unfiltered, it actually is kind of robotic and um, very logical. And for me, that's what feels free to me. That's what feels free and expressive to me. And I guess that's really nothing to be afraid of. But I just always had this mental block where it caused fear to express, to even allow myself to try to express, because of fear of other people's anger, or perceived the idea is I perceived that something might go wrong if I didn't filter myself to such a degree, that something might go wrong and somebody might get angry, somebody might get you know very very upset about how I express myself. And it's really nothing to be afraid of. I'm a very serious person. I'm very straightforward, and when I allow myself to express freely, I can express in a very logical, straightforward way. And there's really nothing to be afraid of at all. It's just I just had this irrational fear of it, and now it's just so much easier to express openly because I realize that there's nothing to be afraid of. It's just very freeing to be able to express without this kind of constant hindrance. There's always been a hindrance, something in the way. Can't say this, can't say that, always something in the way. And just getting rid of that obstacle is so freeing that, for you guys who are watching this, guys and girls, I recommend trying this kind of stream of consciousness way of communicating and see what mental blocks you run into, and how it feels to express that thing, whatever it is that you feel like is naturally you. Because I feel like that um, expression should be effortless. It should be effortless and unhindered. There's really no reason that we should feel labored when we're expressing ourselves. There's no reason for that. It's just the cultural conditioning of constantly having to be in control over yourself and over circumstances that for me at least I became kind of a fanatic with trying to control people in my environment, not for malicious purposes, but just to feel safe, to try to make sure the reactions that I'm getting are ones that are pleasant and not um, painful. And so when you really finally learn how to let go, which I always knew I wanted to let go, but I didn't know fully what that meant for me. And now that I know what it means for me, this logical, straightforward expression, it's really not all that scary, and it's actually very relieving, because I don't have to micromanage all of my expression so that I avoid any kind of danger. It's really just very simply expressing freely and openly, and it's so effortless. That's the beauty of it. It's so effortless, and I wish the same for you. If you're struggling with expression, or you're struggling with words, that you cultivate this effortless expression in yourself, so that you're able to communicate more freely and more openly. It's a beautiful thing, and I definitely recommend that anybody who's struggling with any kind of mental block. See, here's the thing I just want to add too is that um, what was it? I wanted to add that we don't have to know the next thing we're going to say. See, a lot of times we think of ourselves as like this pilot in a vehicle of the body, and we're the controller of things that we say. We don't have to know the next thing that we're going to say, because in reality, we don't know the next thing we're going to say, just like we don't know the next thing we're going to think. So it's really just getting out of the way of the expression. If we're identifying with the controller and we're identifying with the filter, then we feel like we're the ones that are stopping the expression and we're the ones that are controlling behavior. But if you just get out of the way of the expression will just flow out of you naturally. It's not a matter of micromanaging what you're going to say. It's a matter of just allowing what wants to be said, and that's kind of like a force of nature of just you're just really allowing the wind to blow, and that's really all it boils down to. You're not really in control of what is said. You're just allowing what wants to be said by, I guess you could say, nature, or the unconscious mind, or whatever. I don't really know. I can't really get technical. I'm not really a psychologist. I know I may seem like I'm a little bit of a psychologist, but it's just all layman stuff, But it's just getting out of your brain's way, your soul's way, or whatever you want to say, and allowing that expression to flow through you. And it's just letting the floodgates go, letting the floodgates just flow the expression out of you. You don't have to worry about what it looks like, and it may look like something different for everyone else. For culture, this culture, American culture at least, makes it seem like all free expression is silly, wild, happy, and carefree, when for me it's just very logical and serious. And people don't typically associate that with carefree behavior, but for me that's what being carefree means for me. So it may not look how you expect. All right. Wish you the best, and see ya.